It's about the intro. That would have been awesome. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 173.
Does it?
1,000.
I'm one of your hosts, Adam, and I'm joined this week by, over on the computer, Aaron.
Oh, hey there. How's it going?
And sitting with me on the couch are our fellow Pixel Junkies contributors, Jordan and Andrew.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Contributor, huh?
I don't know, what do you call yourself?
Oh, I don't know.
Content creator.
Founder?
Yeah, I actually founded this whole thing.
Originator.
Just stole it from me.
Alright.
Originator. Comedic relief.
Originator.
Isn't this the beginning of the game?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay. What are we playing?
We're playing Rise of the Tomb Raider this week, with Shadow of the Tomb Raider's release pending rather soon.
Yeah, it's
Wait, when is it?
September.
Was that September 14th?
Oh, really?
12 if you get the deluxe edition.
Oh.
Man,
Well,
this game looks like dog shit now.
I hate that.
What?
The game, you get the game early if you buy the Super Edition. That's so dumb.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
The game's done, so they want to make more money.
Yeah,
why
I know
wouldn't you
why
take
they do
advantage
it,
of
but
people? Why wouldn't you want to take advantage
because
of people financially?
it's soulless.
No, it's how you make great money.
I don't think they're making that much more money from it.
Well, for every one sold,
I feel like
probably
the
an extra
Super
50
Edition
bucks.
should come with something better than you get the game.
Well, it does come
early.
with stuff.
What does it come with?
I can't remember now. It's got like the season
Hobos.
pass, the DLCs, outfits.
You get your own hobo to
Um,
help you complete the missions.
The what?
You get your own hobo to help you complete the missions.
No. The
Oh.
the only incentive for me
Simply
is I think it comes with some more side missions, and I would kind of like to do everything, so that'll probably be one of the reasons I pick it up.
That's climbable, Aaron.
Was that?
That's climbable.
Oh, thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
I didn't
Is
know.
it?
Yes.
Well, how come he's not climbing it?
He is climbing it.
But
No,
a few
it
extra
looks like he's
days.
picking
You
it.
guys can see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're on about, Jordan. Getting it, like, I don't know, as an incentive, I would rather them almost barter release dates as opposed to, like, big chunks of content for effectively no extra money. I'm
Well, I
assuming.
was thinking more physical items.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Like,
I was
all
not
of the
looking at
digital
the-
stuff should come with the game anyway. With all editions of the game,
What the hell?
no matter
are-
what. You should, if you're paying money for it, you should get the full experience of it. But the extra stuff, I can see paying for physical items. Like,
Yeah.
you got a statue, or, hey, here's like a compass that
It
Lara
might-
is going to use in the game.
It might come with something like that. I was only looking at the digital deluxe edition, so I don't know.
You
as a-
spiked the audio, by the way.
I know. I did
Oh,
that on
absolutely.
purpose.
You spiked
Okay.
my audio.
Did you see how I was carefully putting the can down and I slammed it down?
Yeah.
I
That's-
thought maybe
that's
it was
comedy.
either a lapse of judgment or...
You know,
Comedy.
for a second I
Just-
thought Jordan was going to be really nice, and then I remembered, oh no, wait, it's Jordan. He's definitely going to be an asshole about this.
That's the only way I know how to live.
Hey, you guys ever hear about Philip Munchkin?
No, actually, I've never heard of him in my life.
Is
I
that
don't
how you
know
say
who it
that?
is.
What?
Is that how you say that?
Did he make
No.
the game Munchkin?
No.
Does he represent the Lollipop Guild?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. I love that guild.
So you know how IGN is a game media thing?
Is it?
Does it stand
Is
for
it?
in-game
What do they
name?
define themselves as?
I suppose,
Journalists?
like, entertainment journalism, for lack of a better term.
Is that what it would be?
Anyway, one of their new writers plagiarized a review.
Why?
Because he's a piece of shit, obviously.
Yeah. Well, like, how do you... Like, I guess they're under a lot of pressure. Or the guy's really lazy.
I'm thinking it's probably laziness or
But how do you
the
get away
actual
with it?
inability to,
Well,
Yeah.
Rory was saying it was his first video review or something.
It was his first video review, but apparently he has a history of plagiarism.
Yeah. I don't know. I would assume that would stem from, like, not knowing what to do for a thing, and then just being like, well, I'll watch what other people are saying about it, and then he just ends up copying the thing. So it's
Yeah,
like-
but it's like, it starts off well enough, like, okay, maybe it's just a coincidence, but by the end, it's like,
yeah.
this guy obviously
Yeah,
plagiarized this.
So the people who had their review plagiarized, they posted a review the day after.
Just one guy.
The same day, yeah. And did a like a side by side comparison. They're not word for word. They're pretty close in some instances, but
it's the same as a college paper where it's
yeah. They
I'll
just
copy
changed a few
this
words.
and reword some things.
Yeah, so the videos are more or less the same length, and they cover the same sorts of topics at the same time. Chunks.
I wish more people got shit over that stuff.
Yep.
So
You know, it's like
I agree.
like to the point where like when Tom Petty had Sam Smith like did the song "Stay With Me" or whatever, and it sounded kind of like "Won't Back Down." I don't know, like I feel like he was in the right because it was very similar. Like it wasn't identical, but it was enough that it was like.
I don't know what that sounds like. I know what won't back down sounds like.
Won't you stay with me? Like that's basically it's the same, right? Now it's different tempo. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it was enough that it was similar, and I think that should be the defining. Because you can accidentally do that, and I don't think you should.
How did that Radiohead / what's her name?
That chord progression, Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was annoying. She was like, "It's just the chord progression." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's the tempo she played it at. It's the sound of the instrument that's playing the chord. Like it's, you know."
Yeah, but Radiohead was the bad guy because everybody likes Lana Del Rey more.
No, that's not true. Everybody likes Radiohead more than Lana Del Rey.
Right. Well,
No, you're wrong. Everybody likes
the most
Radiohead.
boisterous people maybe don't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
maybe.
the vocal minority. Probably,
No, I
right?
think it's the people with
Lana
the
Del Rey.
money, probably.
Probably, yeah.
That's usually what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I think even if it's close, like sometimes accidents can happen. Like if I play a chord progression, it's very possible that someone else has played that chord progression. There's lots of songs that have.
I think your career should end if you do that.
No. Are you serious?
No.
Oh. But like take into account tone, lyrical content, you know, tempo, like all these things that are different factors in music, and or in an article or something, like the different factors involved. And it's like, yeah, you should get in a lot of shit for that stuff.
So how would you equate that to journalism?
Journalism, like, well, it should be a lot harder for you to plagiarize something. It's a lot easier to actually do it.
Yes, I think it's a lot.
It's a lot easier to do it, but it's in the fact that like it's not like there's a lot of times when it's an accident in music. It can't be an accident from a writer's perspective. There's like it's a lot harder for you to basically take something someone else.
But I mean, you are reviewing the same thing, and obviously,
like you're gonna touch on some same points,
yes.
but like order, like there's so many different factors involved,
Yes.
like word choice, order, level of intelligence, like
Exactly.
you know, like yeah.
And there was more than enough evidence that
Yeah.
in this review to say, you know,
So he should be murdered.
fairly confidently.
I think like
that
that's
this
the
guy
only
plagiarized.
solution.
Anyway, IGN let him go. His name was Philip
Munishi.
Moisen.
Moisen.
Moisen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like
Anyway,
that.
I checked his Twitter earlier today, and he hasn't posted anything since.
Yeah.
So did he murder himself on Twitter?
I mean, I hope he doesn't like do that.
No, but I mean, like, did he like ruin
Quit
his career?
Twitter? Maybe he didn't remove his Twitter, but he hasn't.
But did he ruin his career with his tweets?
Oh,
as well?
undoubtedly, he's done.
It wasn't so much the tweets. It was.
I
What
thought
he
I
did.
read something that he was he had. This is not the first time he had done it, although it was the first time he'd done it since he started working at IGN.
Yeah, you know, I said earlier, this guy has a history of plagiarism.
That's good.
I hit A.
But I think
Fuck you.
IGN did the right thing. Obviously, everybody at IGN, like, there's no way. I don't think it's their due diligence, not necessarily to like make sure their writers aren't plagiarizing things.
Yeah, it is. That is part of their job too.
To be fair to IGN, as soon as they were notified, this was taken down. Like people notified.
Yeah, I mean they were on the ball.
Yeah,
Totally.
and they took it down and they issued an apology and that sort of stuff. Although I don't think they ever said like check out this other guy's review.
No, they did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, they're in talks now for compensation.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's pretty
But
cool.
what I'm saying is, there's so much content out there that beyond the point of, hey, this guy seems to do a good job, let's hire him. I don't think it's reasonable to expect the rest of the employees at IGN to
Check every review.
Yeah,
No,
But I do think they should have background checked this guy and see if
I
he
agree.
Yeah, I think, if you're a content creator for a website, I think that's the issue now, is that there's too many content creators for stuff.
Yes.
There needs to be 1,000 articles out every fucking day, and it's just no, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it should be that way.
Barney the dinosaur is racist, and here's why.
Well, yeah.
Click this for more info.
What I'd love to see...
And then each point is on a separate web page with different ads.
What I would love to see instead...
Oh, I fucking hate that.
...is that if there's 2 people... If, for every article, there's 2 people. And there's a fact checker. There's a fucking... get rid of all this fake news bullshit. Literally, everything needs to be fact checked. It needs to be reread. It needs to be edited correctly. Because how many times do I go on the websites now and it's these are professional journalists, apparently. And they can't fucking spell.
But being a good writer isn't how they make money.
No.
Well, to
That's
be
why
fair,
they're
also
not.
that's
Yeah.
I would argue that
But still.
obviously as a writer you should be checking your spelling, but I have a spelling.
But
disability, that's why I'm an editor.
you have spell check.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying. That little red squiggle line comes up.
talent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you put a little bit of red squiggle line under something, then you're...
Spell check only works for words that are misspelled. So, for example, I get thought and through mixed up all the time.
Fair enough.
So, but
that's why you have someone who read it over.
I mean, that's the point of an editor. Yeah. Is they're supposed to check
What
through
about
stuff.
thorough?
Anyway, I suppose moving on from that, I've actually played Dead Cells.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any good?
Well, I would say that Dead Cells. In Dead Cells, you need to kill your way through a labyrinth of levels, punctuated by boss encounters that start off quite linear. But the more you play, the more routes and game mechanics open up to you. You might not be able to make it on your your boss current run, but if you can manage to salvage some blueprints for some new battle gear, or better yet, an ability-altering route, it makes it all worthwhile.
Wow.
No,
Great.
that's
That's good to hear, Adam.
Did you write that, Adam?
You know what? I did.
I know a guy at IGN. I think you'd be a perfect fit.
No, that was Boomstick's review. As a joke. Genuinely, I haven't played a super large amount of the game. Probably an hour or 2 at this point. And I'm not sure how long it'll take to complete the game. I'm guessing a long time, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's it hasn't It's a really solid game. It's not like I'm in love with it or anything like that, but it's certainly one of the better indie games I've played this year. It's genuinely really solid of a game. So basically, how the game works is it's a roguelike Castlevania game. So there's an expanding map that you need to unlock abilities for to get to certain places. To unlock
Like
more and more of the
Metroidvania?
map. What?
Metroidvania?
Yeah, what did I say?
Castlevania.
Oh, well,
I wasn't Katamari.
Yeah.
It's probably like Castlevania.
yes.
Yeah.
Very much like Katamari.
It's but
make
because of the
Castle
roguelike
Mario.
elements, there is permadeath, and you don't keep any of the. So if you go through a large part of the castle and then you die, you go back to the starting point, and then the castle changes. It's procedurally generated for the most part, so it changes its layout. Now, certain areas are always kind of in the same area. So in the first starting level, the sewers are always kind of on the bottom of part of that map, and the ramparts, I think is what they're called, are always near the top. And genuinely, if you head in that direction, you'll find it pretty quickly, but the exact routes on how to get there are always different. But there are certain stuff that stays the same. So, the different levels themselves. So, whenever you leave the spawn area, you will always enter Area 1. But the internals of Area 1 will always shift about. So it'll never be suddenly you're in Area 6 now. It's always going to be the actual...
I don't think I like that.
It's actually really fun because it...
It's challenging.
It is challenging. The game is certainly not unfair. At least I haven't noticed it. Anytime you die, it's more that you get the sense that I haven't gotten a great. I didn't pick up any good weapons or something this round. And this might throw off some people is that because it's procedurally generated. And there's permadeath, you lose all your gear when you die. Now, it's easy to pick up again because they're scattered very generously all over the map, but sometimes the RNG does, not fuck you, but it almost benefits you too much. Like, there are some runs where right in the beginning you get, like, very, powerful gear that'll carry you through a couple of levels, and then other times you're scraping by trying to find some gear
so
you'll be
like?
2 or 3. It's very pixel art. Very beautiful art style. Genuinely a very pretty looking game. I would equate it to almost Hyper Light Drifter, although not quite that pixely. More like honestly,
Terraria
it looks
or something.
What?
Like Terraria or something.
Yeah, Terraria, or maybe even the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Like more that it's hard to actually say it's 16-bit because the animation is very fluid because
Or
it isn't
like Shovel Knight or something.
Almost more like Prince of Persia.
not in terms of the art style. In terms of the actual game lore, I'm not aware. There is the more you explore, there are little like characters that you come across that expand the lore and different stuff that you discover. I'm not 100% sure what the story is. I'm not that far into the game, but it seems to be that you're not actually a person. You're like an alchemical construct that can't seem to die or is just simply replaced upon death. Because there's evidence that whenever you die, your body just gets tossed aside and a new version of you is collected. I haven't gotten far
Just
enough.
like real life.
Yes. The gameplay is very fun. You have there's 2 main weapons that you carry. Usually, you can either be like a melee weapon and a shield, or a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. I like to go melee and ranged. This is my playstyle. You get a grenade weapon, which binds to L2, and you get a trap that binds to R1, and they have a very short cooldown time. That's actually something that's really cool about the game, is all of the attacks and stuff have really short cooldowns. I think the longest I've encountered so far is 5 seconds. So it encourages you to continue. It's not like in other games where you get a powerful ability, but it has like a 2-minute cooldown, so you never use it.
Yeah.
This game, it really... you're not forced to. You can certainly get by without it, but it's certainly much to your benefit to use your powerful abilities early on. It's got good hit detection. I find that there are some places where you absolutely get mobbed by enemies, and it's hard, like, when there's, like, 5 or 6 enemies in a single space, you really shouldn't take them on. You should try and, like, lure one away and take that one out, or use a grenade weapon or something, but in physical contact, 4 or 5 enemies might not outright kill you, but they will decimate your health. But anything more than that, you should be able to handle easily enough. I've only encountered one boss so far. He was hard as balls, and I died on him. But I get the sense I didn't have the appropriate gear for him then, because I kind of just stumbled upon him accidentally. I would recommend this game. It's $30 now on PS Plus. I think it's available on everything: PS Plus, Xbox, or not PS Plus. Sorry, PlayStation Network. Xbox.
How much is it?
33. I think I paid like 34.
I think it's 20 on Humble right now.
Yeah, so definitely pick it up on PC. It's also available on the Switch.
Might even be 20 on Steam, I'm not sure.
So I would definitely pick this game up. Soundtrack is also pretty good, although not super noticeable. So again, I'm not that like super far into it, so it might cramp up in difficulty or what have you. But so far, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
Neat.
That was the first point of 38.
Oh man,
You're fired, Adam.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's good.
Hey, anybody ever use emulators?
Yes,
You
Yes.
do?
I did.
I've used them in the past, yeah.
I had 64 emulator
Yeah?
and the Super Nintendo.
Where'd you get your ROMs from?
It's this place that's on the Sunny thing that we use.
What?
I'm emulating this right now.
Are you?
Oh, you mean the thing on the list
Got it.
here
Yeah,
that we're talking about?
It's on the list. Emu Paradise.
Emu Paradise has taken down its ROMs.
Why?
What at?
Through threat of legal action.
Oh.
By who? Nintendo?
Various things.
So where are the ROMs available now?
I don't know. I guess, I'm sure you can get them, just Google ROMs, and I'm sure other places have them.
Yeah, but
I think, I mean, it sucks.
they were the best site for it too.
Yes.
Like they had all the games. Like
Yeah.
you could get Battletoads, you could get Donkey Kong, you could get the Mario games.
Could
and
you
it was
could you get Donkey Kong?
You could.
country? That's what I said.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
So yeah, I mean, people share these things, so I'm sure another site is going to crop up if there's not already one available.
Is this more of an inconvenience really than anything? Like,
It'd be like,
Yeah, I mean,
Emu Mount Pearl will prop up, and then they'll have the ROMs.
where is this based to?
I really wanted this on the list because it brings up an interesting point where who is this hurting at this point? If you're downloading a game from 1992 and the only available means to buy the game, like outside of...
Yeah.
Okay, the only means of buying the game, of purchasing the game, is through a third party where no money is going to the developer of the game anymore, a developer that, in all likelihood, doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
Who is it hurting if you download a ROM for it?
Well, I think it kind of plays to, like, vintage video game cultures kind of made a little bit of a comeback with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic.
Yeah, but you can't buy those games though. Like
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is that like Nintendo
it's a
thinks,
potential market.
Yeah, Nintendo thinks that they got the market. Like they're like, oh man, like this is a great market that we're gonna appeal to, but they're not doing anything about it. So like they'd rather fight it. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like drug wars and shit like that. Like you're fighting it, but if you put more money into fucking preventing it, you'd probably save a lot of money.
Right?
But it's not even something that you can really prevent because people, unlike drugs, which can come about through proper education and stuff.
Yeah.
I think people are always going to want to pirate video games and get it for free.
But I think like, you know, if you're going to make the SNES Classic or whatever, put out all the fucking games that came out with it.
Well, or you could do one better and actually stock the fucking things.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. They're like, they got this thing on lock, but they don't have enough consoles for the demand, and they don't have all the games, and they don't have any way to expand on it.
Yep.
I feel like
It's
the
fucking
NES and the
useless
SNES Classic are completely wasted opportunities where you put an Ethernet jack or Wi-Fi in that thing. I don't know if it already does. I don't think it does.
Yeah.
It does not.
You put Wi-Fi in it, and you sell games
Yeah.
online in an online marketplace
Kirby,
for like
Earthbound.
$1 a piece.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's a massive market
It's
because
perfect.
this shit
Yeah.
exists. It exists already.
Even a
It's not hard
system, like, you pay $5 a month,
$5 a month,
and then you
get
have the
unlimited
entire library of the Super
Yeah,
Nintendo.
absolutely.
People would pay for that.
Yes.
to... Yeah, I would.
Yes.
I would. I
But
don't have money.
alternatively, like I don't think, like if you're not spending money on, despite the fact that okay, Nintendo might have a small market corner that they're not utilizing in any way, and also aside from the fact that no money is now going to developers who probably don't exist, if you're not willing to spend money on those games, then I don't think you were going to first or last, whether they're not available for purchase. Like, if Emu Paradise goes away and no ROMs are available, no one's spending money on like you're not gaining customers now.
No.
You're just losing people playing your game.
Exactly.
No, but the argument is that if those games were made easily available for
Yes.
purchase.
Yeah, I
Like,
understand.
right now, if you
I
wanna
understand that
buy-
argument.
Yeah, if you want to buy Double Dragon, you're looking at like maybe $30. I don't know how much Double Dragon is, but some classic NES games are
Well, here-
relatively expensive.
But my point is
that
that people who download ROMs were never customers to begin with.
No.
They're just
not
downloading the
necessarily.
game.
It's kind of
because
like
free.
music purchasers and stuff like that.
But if you made those games available like a $5 a month subscription fee
Yeah, that's
to
definitely
the
more
entire
enticing.
library, it's like, oh man, this is actually a lot easier than having to look for ROMs.
I mean, there are some games out there that are pretty hard to find now in terms of the physical copy. Like, for example, I mean, obviously you're going to be able to find any of the Mario games pretty easily.
Yeah.
But games like Earthbound, for example, which got a very small release, and there's not very many
Yes.
copies out. I think even a used version of
It's over $100.
oh, it's over 200. I think
It might be
on
more.
Amazon easily they'll go for 250, $300. In the box, I think it's worth 500, or at least it was last time I checked because I have been checking. I've only ever seen it in the store once, and it was $200 at Games Exchange. They're usually pretty good about their prices, and honestly, that's
Probably
pretty
get
fair
it more
price.
reasonably at like Lukey or something like that.
Probably.
Probably
No,
still
it's
pretty
fucking
expensive,
expensive on Lucky
Luki
Games,
is pretty
man.
expensive.
Is it still?
Yeah, because it's like
It's probably cheaper than locally though. 'cause
I
that's
don't
probably
know.
where they
Actually,
got
I
it.
think Earthbound was like a couple $100 too.
Prices are only going to go up too,
Like, yeah,
right? There are only so many of these things available.
yeah. That's wild.
I would, just a quick aside, I really wouldn't hang out with Lara Croft. Because she's like a magnet for fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Like, she hits
could, like,
every fucking trap.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: she has like terrible like perception skills and stuff, but like I heard like pick locks must be like she's the type of D&D character who walks down a hall, triggers every trap, and then locks her way out of every one of them. Yeah. Or like not locks, but like skills her way out of.
What are you talking about? I got great perception. I can just press a button and it shows me everything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Except I don't have all the abilities unlocked yet because I just started.
Fuck, this game is pretty.
Hey,
Nobody hangs out with her anyway.
remember E3?
I do remember E3.
No.
Oh, not this year?
This year.
Yes, I do.
I
Yep.
don't.
You remember anything about the Square Enix conference?
I remember they didn't show anything new.
Well, they showed some things. Remember the Quiet Man?
No.
Was that the live action thing?
It was a live action thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, what
It
about
was weird. The game was weird, too. We saw some gameplay
Is
of
it
it.
a live action game?
Oh.
It is a 3-hour game.
That's it?
Yep, mixed
Oh.
with...
That's the full description on
It's
Steam.
basically like a live action movie, but the actual fight scenes are playable.
Hey, was it come out on the Sega Genesis CD?
Wow.
Wait, so you have a gameplay is on there. I thought that was just like a gameplay demo.
It's so we saw some gameplay of it today.
But the whole game is 3 hours long.
Yes.
All right.
I gotta look this up.
The gameplay we saw today was about 40 minutes.
So like half the game.
That's really dope.
Oh, like a third of the game. Less than a third.
So what's the story about? Is it just about
You play as a deaf guy.
Yeah.
You're looking for a dancer. You're trying to track down a kidnapped dancer, I think.
Okay. Well, why is a deaf guy doing it? It's just like a good Samaritan?
I don't know.
Or is it
Are
like
you saying deaf people can't track down dancers?
No, I'm just saying he's... No, what I'm saying is
can hear me say that.
for, if I'm
going
if
down.
I'm a he just looked like a random civilian. Like when I saw him, he looked like a street thug.
Yeah, apparently he's like a kung fu artist or something.
Oh, okay, the perfect person you want looking for your missing dancers and not the
He's
police.
the hair devil.
I think this sounds pretty cool. The gameplay looks interesting. It looks a little clunky.
A Square Enix game being clunky?
It's actually being made by the people that made the first Prey game.
That game was kind of clunky.
What was that, like Massive Head Productions or something?
Yeah. It wasn't Massive Head, but yes.
Swollen Head.
Yeah, Swollen Head Productions.
Sticky Head.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But it looks CG.
The gameplay is.
I thought you said it was live
It's
action.
the Joker.
So
In between the gameplay sections, it's live action.
Weird.
It's essentially a movie
Yeah.
about a guy tracking down a dancer, but you play parts of it.
I used to be a dancer.
Okay.
Give him some of that razzle dazzle.
What's this?
man, is
What's
that a
the other?
trap?
What's the game about? Like My Happy.
We Happy Few?
Yes,
Yeah, that's something else.
I want
Yeah,
that.
that's not this one.
I know. I don't want to talk about this. one
Okay, we're
anymore.
done talking about the Quiet Man.
Yeah. It just seems kind of dumb. Like it.
It seems interesting.
It's
I'm
campy.
interested.
It's campy.
My only real complaint is I wish the main character looked cooler than he does.
He kind of looks like.
Wait, you don't like the hair devil?
You know what though?
No.
He looks like a real life Square Enix character. He does. He looks like
That's
a real
not an
life.
unfair...
A real life Square Enix character would be super Japanese. Though.
No,
that's
he
not
looks like Squall. He
to
kind
be-
of looks like Squall.
To be fair to Jordan, that's not an unfair comparison.
Like that, he looks like Squall.
That's
Final
not
Fantasy.
untrue.
Yeah.
Are you dissing Squall?
No, not at all. I just find it hilarious that they're doing this at all, ever. So. We Happy Few. I seen the pre-order thing for that.
Yeah.
It looks.
So you can play that now if you want it.
What do you mean?
It's in early access.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been in early access for like a
that's what I
year.
thought. But like, I seen the pre-order bundle somewhere.
So
and
it's actually coming out soon.
okay.
That's the problem I have with not the problem really, but when it comes to pre-order or alpha versions or whatever of the game or early releases, I often forget that it's not actually out. So it's like, hey, the Ark Survival Evolved get its full release today. I'm like, Isn't it already out? Oh, right, because it was early access.
See, you don't like. I don't really want that.
You don't want what?
I don't want the early access to the game. Like that's the whole point of you doing a beta and testing your shit. You making me pay for something that should already be fucking done. That's my opinion of it all.
Then don't buy the beta. Let other people test it.
You're right, but like, I just find it really interesting that there's a market for that. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess.
I
People
suppose
aren't patient.
Yeah.
And what better way to get, beta testing than a massive audience of people for a small developer?
Yeah. True. Fair enough. But like when the game is finally done, you're one of the ones who already played the whole fucking thing. And it's just kind of like, oh.
I'm worried that's what Fallout 76 is going to be like. Because apparently the beta is the entire game.
Oh, cool.
It's coming out a month before launch, and this is their first multiplayer game. So,
yeah, I would imagine it's just to iron out all the stability issues.
it's probably just a big stress test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And progress
To be
carries over.
fair, that's a
as
good
well.
use of a beta, though.
How many people can play?
Sure, do it more than a month before launch.
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of problems there. Speaking about gameplay footage, we also saw gameplay footage for 2 games that I'm looking forward to coming
There's
out.
probably new Fallout 76 gameplay out now too at this point from QuakeCon,
But we haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're filming this during QuakeCon.
The first game we'll talk about, because this is going to be the one I think is the least talked about, or will be the least talked about by us. We'll save the bigger one for later. Is Doom Eternal? We got an extended gameplay.
I'm excited for
of
that.
I am.
I really like Doom.
I
like
love the first one.
Yeah, the first one was great.
Or do you mean the first Doom or Doom 2006?
Well, both actually.
2006.
Classic Doom was good
I
too.
meant 16. Sorry.
That was good times.
Yeah, it was good.
I like the campiness of it as well.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like you're in fucking hell, but there's some funny shit that happens.
You're on Mars. You're not in hell.
Well, there are parts where
You go to hell, but you're in Mars initially.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a great moment in.
Jeez.
There's a great moment in the gameplay footage that we saw where we see 2 really fantastic. What are they called? Glory kills. What are they called?
Glory kills.
Is okay. The first is the first glory kill that I really liked is I don't know the name of the creature. It's new. It's like a big kind of fat demon that has like flamethrowers. I think it's like a variation of the Manticore or whatever. And the Doom Slayer punches his way to the guy's heart into his chest, rips out his heart, hauls the jaw down, shoves the heart into the mouth, and then closes it.
I think that was his crunchy center that he pulled out, not his heart.
Well, whatever. Anyway, he died regardless.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's awesome. And then the other one is he's just fighting a random, just like low tier zombie, and he grabs the zombie and like, and then he pushes the zombie's skull into the center of its rib cage, and it was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Did they have the same music engineer doing this one?
I think so, Mick Gordon.
Yeah, he was really cool what he did, but he was a real fucking douchebag about how he explained it.
Was he?
Really?
Oh yeah, I watched this hour-long video about him doing it.
Yeah,
and
I watched that
like,
too. I thought he was...
he was like, I when I did it, I didn't want an original sound. I wanted all the sounds to be original and no sounds from anything but what I created. And I was like,
Alright.
what? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, don't be a fucking asshole. It's cool. It's cool what he did. Like, it sounds
He
great.
did the music for Wolfenstein as well.
Yes.
And Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
But he douched it up a little bit. I think he's getting like, he's getting all these big games. He's like, his head's inflating. So he's like, now the next game that I do, all sounds will be made from the clapping of my anus.
Well,
You know, like, it's getting that bad.
well,
It's getting that bad.
well. The guy in parts of this gameplay trailer, we get to see that there's now miniaturized versions of the final boss. Spoiler alert for Doom 1, the Mastermind, which is like a kind of a brain instead of a robot spider mech.
Yes.
And when you fight them, it's hard to hear in the gameplay trailer because the music's turned down a little bit. But you hear the Mastermind soundtrack from that played during the original boss fight during that moment. And I'm wondering if that's going to be in the full game or not, because it looks really interesting. And that was my second favorite track from that game. The first, obviously, being BFG Division, which is like the most metal soundtrack for a video game has ever been.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. The music at least sounds like it's going to be good. In terms of gameplay, it looks like they're adding more verticality to the game with the inclusion of, and I don't know if this is a feature that's going to be in the whole game, or it's a specific upgrade to the super shotgun, but they added a grappling hook to the underside of it that allows you to, when you hook into an enemy, you shoot towards them. You can also hook into different parts of the terrain and shoot towards those. And it's really cool because what are the big flying eyeball things? Are they the
big flying eyeballs?
The beholders?
Yeah, the beholder looking things. He was using those because there was a couple floating around the little gameplay, the little map that he was in. He was using those to get around, so he would like latch onto one and then kind of like swing his way across. I'm like, that's awesome. That's really cool. And there looks to be a dash now. And the Doom Marine has a like a gauntlet blade. That he uses for a lot of his glory kills. I don't think so, and maybe he uses it for his regular melee. Not that he really needs a blade to be all that more deadly, because honestly, like his boot would be sufficient. But there looks to be a couple new guns. There was a shotgun that you could fire at full auto, which did a lot of damage. The super shotgun is back, like I said. There's a couple of others. New demon types. There's like an imp-looking thing that flies. There's the big kind of Manicore, or whatever they were called things, the miniaturized version of the Mastermind, of course, that I've already mentioned. And it takes place on Earth, cool. And Hell has invaded Earth, and it looks like it's pretty seriously taken over Earth. Like, you're kind of like right in the middle of the apocalypse here. Yeah. So that looks.
Yeah, I loved how it looked.
It looks great. It's the same very bright and gory, gooey color palette.
Just these giant tentacles coming in from the sky.
Yeah,
it looked great.
It looked like Cthulhu's coming down. So it looks generally really good. It's probably my most anticipated game of 2018.
Really?
Or 20.
Really?
Well, it's coming out 2019.
What else is coming out that's good?
It's coming out 2019.
2019.
Yeah, I meant 2019.
I don't know what's coming out next year.
Yeah, nothing good. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's
comes out this year.
It's coming out like in a month.
Can't wait.
The other gameplay that we saw was not from Gen Con. It just came. Rockstar just came out. We saw some gameplay.
Well, we're not there yet. That's last, so we can spend time on it.
Also, wasn't it QuakeCon? We mean Gen Con.
Or whatever.
We're still on QuakeCon. Rage 2 gameplay.
Oh.
I don't know what Gen Con is.
What? I played Rage.
Yeah?
But I don't remember playing Rage.
No, yeah, you played it, yeah. That's the
That's
general
the whole thing of it, isn't it?
That's the general
it was like
Rage player memory.
It was like Borderlands
Nobody
came out,
knows.
and then they were like, "Oh, we made a game exactly like Borderlands." Shit.
Well, I mean,
Isn't that what happened?
Rage was in development, long into development by the time Borderlands came out.
It's
Yeah,
really
but it was
nothing like Borderlands, though.
But it was like the premise is
It's
the same.
kind
You're
of
like a treasure
similar.
hunter.
Like they're
on a
similar
planet or
art
something,
styles in a way.
with like crazy psychopaths.
I guess if
And
you
you're-
boil
you're
it
in-
down like
you're
that,
in like
maybe.
moon rovers. You're like driving around in.
Well, I remember people
Or is it
like
more like Mad Max?
Aaron, I hope when the dude like launched out the window and they looked down, he's just impaled on the wrought iron fence. Like,
don't worry, we still got the book. I guess it's probably more like Mad Max, but at the time, I remember people drawing a lot of comparisons between Borderlands and Rage.
Does anybody like Borderlands anymore?
I like Borderlands. I just played through Borderlands 2 a little while ago.
I think
Yeah,
it's a great game.
I mean, it still has the same issues that
Well, I mean, like they haven't. It's a game that's been unsupported for like 5 years now.
Yeah, but I mean, we've gotten 3 games and they all have the same issues. So
Yeah.
It
I
has
see
its
what
charm, and I'm like,
the charm is done.
yeah.
But there's not gonna be another one.
I'm not a huge fan of the company anymore.
Well, I think there's going to be
used to
another
be,
one,
but-
but
Really?
Yeah.
Was it the key thing?
No, it was.
Well, that sucked.
I like that.
No.
Well, you could go get a golden key if you wanted to. You get a cool gun. You didn't have
Alright.
to.
I mean, that was the
Those
first.
were loot boxes you didn't have to pay for.
Yeah, which is kind of nice.
All right, there's still loot boxes.
Yeah, but every
Really
fucking
was-
game got loot boxes you got to pay for. So I'd rather be like,
Really
it was kind of cool to put a real life treasure hunt
Yes,
kind of
but
thing in.
I think the industry as a whole should be moving away from the concept of loot boxes.
Yeah,
Really-
I think it'd be really. I'm sorry to interrupt you again.
That's all right.
I think it'd be really cool if you could find the codes in game and they randomly generated.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
That's a better solution.
I mean,
like-
you could get loot boxes in game without those shift keys, but the shift keys were easy
Yeah.
because they gave them out a lot.
You can also just edit the INI files and give you infinite keys.
Yeah. Yeah, people used to farm the shit out of those, and that's maybe part of the issue because they would just like go back and retroactively give themselves all of the shift keys or edit their save,
Yeah.
and then just like
Just get
find
the
an
best
find an
guns.
easy loot box and farm the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I think
Which is the issue. Why can't you customize fucking guns in the damn game?
I think the issue that everyone has with Gearbox, or at least what kind of like started everyone's issue with it, was their poor handling of Aliens Colonial Marines and the shitstorm that was that. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew or Aaron, whoever knows, but that game originally they were given a lot of money from Sega to make, but they ended up blowing that on the development of Borderlands 2, I think.
Essentially, yeah.
And then they had to move the production of Aliens Colonial Marines over to a third-party
Well,
developer.
they couldn't really be bothered with it at that point. They were making Borderlands 2. It's like, oh, we'll get more money from this, so let's do that.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't make more money from it because they didn't support the
Sure,
game.
but they could have made an awesome Aliens game.
They could have. They didn't.
Nope.
And then we got Aliens Isolation a couple years later to make up for it. So, but
Much better game.
It was a much better game.
Was that Gearbox?
No, that was,
Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly. They did the Total War games or whatever.
They do a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think like Sega's like, shit, we have this Alien game coming out. We can't trust Gearbox anymore. Hey, who are those guys who those 4X games, the Total War stuff? Yeah, give it to them. Tell them it's a survival game. Like, oh jeez, we don't know how to make this. Okay, so you're an alien and you're in a grid and you're exploring and expanding. Fuck, no, we can't do that. Okay, how about if you're an alien? How about instead of exploring, you're doing the opposite of that, which is hiding? I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean not exploring? No. Like it's the opposite of that. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you explore? It's like, well, you could, I suppose, but then the alien will get you. Yeah, and then you just explore around the alien. You build up a bunch of guys in your base, and you send them out and you fight.
So you play as a villager hiding from the omniscient AI.
I started playing Dead by
so
Daylight.
dumb.
Is it
The
Dead by
Nostromo
Daylight?
was like this really small map, and you had a massive character that walked
Yeah.
around. It's like, you got found by the alien. You lose.
Did you see, what was it, Dead by Daylight?
Movie? Is that a movie?
No, it's the game.
No, that's that Hayden Panettiere and...
No, that's
That's
that one. Whatever it is.
that one was
Dead-
actually really
That was
good.
a great
It's Dead
game.
by Daylight, isn't it?
That's not
no,
Dead by Daylight.
No, Dead by Daylight is the one where like somebody plays as the monster.
Yes,
Oh,
you're
right,
you're
yeah, right.
But so I started playing that today because it's free on PSN, and
And it's dog shit?
it's like fun for 10 minutes.
Were you playing with anybody?
Yeah, it's like you get automatically put in the lobby.
Jordan was
like,
probably
you can't
playing with
play.
Meg Turney, because it's all she fucking plays.
I just like I like the concept of it, like, and especially if you're like a horror fan, it's kind of cool to like. You have to like start up generators, but they don't tell you anything. Like it's all written. It's all written.
You have to
text
start
and
up an
bugs me.
engine that under no means would actually start, because it has exposed pistons.
Yeah, and like
And then run away, and that's the whole game.
yeah, I just don't get it. I don't
It's
understand.
kind of like that Friday the 13th.
I think
Yeah,
that's
well, that's
better.
what it's. Yeah, the Friday the 13th one I think is better. Yeah, but I think he plays Jason in that one.
Well, you play.
Or
You
is it
can't.
online?
It's asynchronous.
It's online.
Yeah, it's online.
Oh, okay. See, I want a non-online version. I want an offline version of it.
Nah,
Where you
well,
play as Jason and you just slaughter everybody.
Yes, man.
That would actually be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
fucking wicked, man. Like they're like the smart AI, half smart AI.
It's like the stalker sections of the Batman Arkham games,
Yes.
but just Jason killing
you
teenagers.
you have to do it in a way where you can't let anybody kind of. You got to keep them all in the camp.
yeah.
You got to kill them all before they get out. So you kind of got to wait for people to go off on their own to kill them.
Yeah,
You got to wait as long as possible to let everybody else know that there's a killer here.
yeah, and you can't you can't let them call the police or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right. Well,
Alright,
there
well,
you go.
there we go.
There's a good Jason game.
Sorry, guys.
Did anybody?
Jesus Christ.
Did anybody ever play the Jason the Friday 13th games for the NES?
Fuck that.
I've seen them.
No.
I got it on Emu Paradise.
Not anymore. You can't.
I got it there. So I did get it there.
Jordan still has it, I guess.
It's probably
If you want
on
a copy,
the computer
guys, ask
somewhere.
Jordan.
I don't know where the fuck that computer's gone.
Wasn't it on?
Oh no, I think I do. I think I have it at home.
Wasn't it on like Coleco or something? Not,
No, it was
it
NES.
was on Atari.
That was nice. Oh, maybe I just watched the Angry Video Game Nerd video.
I've actually played it. My friend Katie has it, and we played it. We used to play it once a year at Halloween. We stopped because the game honestly sucks. We don't know how to play.
It's so good.
No,
It is.
No.
It's really good.
No.
It's one of the best ever.
no, it's not, Jordan.
It's just got this thing.
But it's funny to see how like horror games have evolved from being a game that's like not scary at all to a game like Aliens: Colonial Marines, or Alien Isolation, which is actually quite terrifying, or Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Like those kind of games were like genuinely fucking terrifying as opposed.
What was the name of that game? The one with Hayden Panettiere.
I don't know.
You loaned it to
PS4
me.
game that came out not too long ago.
Oh, Dawn Breaking.
Breaking.
No,
It wasn't Breaking Dawn.
Dead by John.
No. Dawn Dead?
Before Dawn.
Yes, after Dawn? After
Dead
Dark?
after Dawn.
Nostradamus.
Dawn before dead.
Nostradamus.
Oh,
Oh
look at
man.
Dead
Look
as
it
a
up.
Dawn.
So
Day of the Dawn.
this is kind of interesting. So you know how in the past Nazi iconography has been edited out of
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Dead
until
until
Dawn.
Dawn.
In Germany, there's been like a ban on Nazi stuff in games.
Yeah.
So you could have World War II games in Germany, but not. You couldn't show a swastika.
You had to show Hydra propaganda.
Right. So that ban has been lifted,
Sweet.
which is
Interesting.
really interesting.
I don't understand.
Welcome to the rest of the planet, where people can make their own decisions, and the government doesn't have to tell them not to look at things.
I think.
I mean, you
that's
can
the beginning
understand
of the
why a
Fourth
little
Reich.
bit, though.
I mean, yes, but not. I mean, it's in movies. It's in the movies. They don't edit it out of movies. It's just the video game aspect.
Oh, is it?
I would argue that obviously what the Nazis did was terrible, and there were a lot of collaborators and stuff. But that's a whole other debate. But like Nazi Germany is not Germany.
No,
There were a lot of people in Germany who were not Nazis,
right.
but
There was actually a small percent of the actual military that were Nazis in Germany.
yeah. But
Most of
I
that
guess-
army was the German army, and they were not Nazis.
I will say that I think that when it comes to history, there's the saying, those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. If you deliberately attempt to hide parts of your history that you are ashamed of, you are not educating the next generations that come along about what happened and why we should always
So
avoid it.
now they're educating them so that they can start the Fourth Reich.
Technically,
No.
well, I would argue that we're in the Fourth Reich now, technically, because
Yes.
I think it being in a
Big
video
Fifth
game
Reich.
is different because you can kind of make decisions in the game. Whether they're willingly or otherwise, you still have to make those decisions.
but I mean, like,
So-
the kids obviously knew that they were fighting Nazis, because if they're playing World at War, Call of Duty World at War, and they're playing the Russian missions, it's like, hey, these guys, this takes place in 1940s, and they're all
I'm killing
speaking,
my grandfather.
and they're all speaking German,
In Germany,
not Nazis though.
do they give them the option to play the other side?
Oh, I doubt it.
Honestly, the one
goddamn.
country on Earth that probably has the least amount to worry about ever becoming fascist again is Germany. I think Germany, out of every country, is the least likely to become fascist again.
But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So you never know. It could be. They could
Yeah,
be
but
crazy, and they could.
Germany's not trying to take over the world over and over.
I mean,
I
it's-
don't know. I'm going there in a couple
It
weeks.
might-
I'll find out.
It might have changed.
will work this time.
It will work this time.
It might have changed in the last couple of years since I last looked at it, but as far as I'm aware, the German constitution has written in that their military can only be used as a defensive force. That's why Germany does not commit troops to the United Nations or any kind of anti-terrorist role, because I think legally within their constitution, their military is not allowed to operate outside of German bounds.
No.
Now that wasn't necessarily a part of. Japan has the same thing, by the way. I think that was kind of they were like, they weren't exactly told, but they were like, you should probably do this because it would be best for everyone. And they're like, okay. Although I think Japan has recently changed the laws where now their defense force can act proactively, I think. But Germany's is still strictly just a defensive force. Germany's not really, if anything, the only thing you got to worry about from Germany is their extremely powerful and stable economy.
Yeah.
Like the backbone of the European Union, France may be the political head of the European Union, but Germany is its fucking wallet.
Anyway, good on you, Germany. Hey. This is something. Remember, what was that? Remember Saints Row? Remember those games?
I don't.
You remember
Can
Saints
you
Row?
explain them to me? Were they a game where you're a convict and you rob cars from people and shoot them in the face?
You're not a convict. In the second one, I guess you are. You're an escaped convict.
Is
in the
it
second
is
one.
it a game where like fart and penis humor reign and
Reign Supreme?
yeah? Is it an exact replica of another franchise that came out?
Didn't you like Stick of Truth, Jordan?
To be fair,
I'm just kidding.
Isn't that like the main story in
Yes.
that game?
To be fair, the first two.
I'm just making fun
The
of
first
GTA
two were
how-
very GTA clone-y.
Yeah.
Although the second one was
Less so.
well, the first one was definitely just straight.
Oh,
up
yeah.
GTA.
when they
First
went
one was
full
just-
arcade.
Yeah, I liked the first two more.
Really?
Because the second one I believe is was it was GTA clone, but you could like drive around in the sewage truck and spray everybody.
Yeah, it was much more
campy.
humorous.
Yeah, it didn't jump the shark. The third one kind of jumped the shark, and the
Yeah,
fourth one
but
went back
I
and jumped
really
over.
liked it. I really
Oh, yeah.
liked when it jumped the shark.
I like them all
Because where GTA
Anyway.
went
Oh,
into
anyway.
GTA got kind of serious.
when GTA went into the more serious
Yeah.
direction, Saints Row went in the complete opposite.
yeah,
So
that's what I like about it.
they were less alike, and so you had two franchises that you could play through without getting
bored to death.
bored to death.
Yeah. Not beating
Which
a
was
dead
good.
horse, which is like everything else.
Yeah. So the director of Saints Row has come out and said that he thinks it's time for the series to come back. He thinks.
What's that guy's who voice acts in it?
Keith David.
Keith David. Keith David needs another job, so
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
What?
he's not.
Is he?
You
No,
think
he's
he's
not.
not dead?
No, he's
No, the
He's not
character
dead.
of Keith David in Saints
Yeah,
Row.
well, he'll just.
No, he's not.
He lived in 4?
I'm pretty sure. Or you had a choice. I think.
I mean, he could come back as a robot or something.
Do you mean the character like Keith David? Like, yeah.
I don't mean the other guy who played.
You mean actually Keith David?
In the fourth one, he literally
Yeah.
played the character Keith David.
And the voice.
but
president.
he played another character in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
In the first 2
Yes.
games.
Did you?
Julius.
Yes.
Julius is dead.
Yes.
Julius is very dead. You kill him in the second one. But
Now I haven't played 1 and 2 since like they first came out.
what are you doing?
Jordan, turn that
What
off.
are you doing?
I was just putting on my favorite Keith David quote.
Was that even
Sweet.
Keith David?
Yeah.
When I played Saints Row 4, I played through my voice actor I chose was oh my god, what's his name?
Nolan North.
Nolan North, but it wasn't like voice like male voice number 10. It was like Nolan North. He was just like, hey, he was like acting like an asshole. So in my headcanon, Nolan North lost his mind, painted his face to look like a skull, joined up with the 3rd Street Saints, took over America, and then made his buddy Keith David the vice president. And then that's just how the story. That's how the game picks up. And then that was my headcanon. It's like, oh yeah, like no, that's literally just Nolan North who lost his mind. Man, that was a fun game.
You couldn't rob the arrow from that corpse?
I might have been able to. I didn't bother searching around for him.
Oh.
Oh, it's raining.
Is it?
Trying
You
to
hear
get
it.
samples.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the wind or not.
Very
Or you might find yourself you're easier to hide when you don't have a glow stick on you.
No,
Yeah,
it's
probably.
fine. So now, Adam,
Okay.
now we can get to what you wanted to talk about.
So, the new gameplay was shown for Red Dead Redemption 2, which is coming out in October. There's going to be more gameplay released. It might already be out as of this video, although as of recording it is not. We got to see some action and kind of world exploring gameplay.
Yep.
They also talked about the story a little bit. Story's pretty groundbreaking. They're going in a new direction for this series. It's going to focus on a character, I can't remember his name, who's part of a gang, kind of in the area.
Please, let's waste 5 minutes
the,
going off on a tangent.
Old West, kind of when the West is dying and the West is being conquered and civilization is making its way across. Wow. And it's the last.
That's weird.
Kind of
this series has never done that before.
Yeah.
Was that what was happening in Red Dead Redemption?
Yes.
Yes.
But not Revolver.
No.
In this game,
Revolver took place in the 1860s.
I forget the guy's name, but you're basically part of this gang, and the gang is traveling, I'm guessing, further west to get away from civilization or the law or whatever you want to call it. There looks to be a pretty sizable kind of like, not base building exactly, but like
camps.
You get like
it's more group management than building stuff.
So you get to talk with the different people in your gang, and I guess recruit new members and. You know, they
I don't think there's
it's not
recruiting.
essential.
They came out and said it's not essential. You can ignore it if you want to, but it will somewhat affect gameplay. You know? They'll mention like, "Hey Arthur, you're never around, and we're starving to death."
Yeah, you'll probably miss out on a bunch of side quests, and like
Yeah.
your group will not like you because you're not doing shit for them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
it's
to
not
finish
essential.
the main story, you don't have to worry
But
about
my main story in Red Dead Redemption is to murder everybody in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
You play as a villain?
No. I play as a purist.
Okay.
A purist. Finding out interesting things about Jordan.
So in the first Red Dead Redemption, where you play as John Marston, an ex-gang member who wants to grow beyond being a gang member and find a new meaning in life.
To be fair,
wants to restart life, just goes around and murdering everybody.
To be fair, it's easy to move beyond gang life if you murder everyone in the country so there's no more gangs.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
To be fair, Jordan is actually the only one playing it right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very easy. It's very easy to just eradicate everybody.
I think there's a quote in the first game. John Marston says, at one point we were wanted in all 50 states or something, which I don't think there were 50 at the time, but that's what he says.
Yeah.
So I guess
nice
that's
job,
Jordan.
Rockstar.
That's Jordan's playthrough.
Yeah. I like being wanted.
Gonna get wanted in all 50 states.
Yeah, it's nice being wanted.
How many states were there in 1914? In 1912? Adam?
I think all of them barring...
1911, I'm sorry. 1911.
Well, that changed everything. I honestly think most of them were there.
46.
Was it 46?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 4 years.
Well, it's still wrong, you idiots at Rockstar. Maybe try making a good game for once, you morons.
I like how this bear is just kind of minding its own business and you're just
Well, it's super high right now, I think.
Yeah, I poisoned it.
Can you kill it?
Holy arrows! Jesus Christ!
Ow.
This is how you kill a bear in real life.
Well, that's a massive bear. Like, that's one of the few animals I would not want to run into in the wild is a bear. I would rather run into a wolf than a bear.
I saw
blocking my passage through the mountain.
In Grossmorn.
Oh, yeah?
A couple months ago. And it was like... Get the fuck out of here, because if the baby bear is there, the mama bear.
Don't hang out with baby bears.
And I just pictured this fucking mama bear coming in and tackling the side of an SUV and knocking the fucking thing over.
Mommy's very angry.
I don't know how aggressive.
I think that could do that.
Black bears are pretty aggressive when it comes to protecting their cubs.
Yes.
But outside of that, they're actually really skittish.
Yeah,
the bears you got to worry about are polar bears. They
grizzlies
and Kodiak, specifically Kodiaks. Grizzly, like Rocky Mountain, kind of like southern grizzlies. They're still pretty dangerous. Obviously, don't go near any bear, even like panda bears and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're less aggressive than Kodiak bears.
Pandas
are smaller. Pandas are the worst animal. I'm sorry.
But they're also stupid as fuck, too. Like, they're really dumb.
They're entire... Like, why are we trying so hard to save these fucking things? They reproduce... They have, like, 1 day a year when they can, like, viably have sex, kind of. And they both got to be in the mood for it. And then, if they do couple... if it works, which is a big if, it produces one cub that maybe will survive. Not only that, but panda bears started off life as being carnivores, not suited really well to eating bamboo, and then decided, let's just eat bamboo. So their digestive system is so inefficient at getting nutrients out of bamboo that they have to just sit around and eat bamboo constantly in order to get enough nutrition out of it to last the day.
How do you know they started off as carnivores?
Because they're bears.
They can see it in their teeth. Also, they're bears.
So, like, why don't
They
they
were
just
bears.
eat
They
fucking
moved to
meat?
San Francisco and now they're vegan.
Fuck's sakes. It's ridiculous.
Getting back to Red Dead. First off, you
I
said the
can't
game
wait to
looks
fuck a bear
gorgeous.
up in that game.
The game looks absolutely
I'm
beautiful.
gonna fucking take a hatchet to it.
I don't know how it runs, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, apparently on Xbox One X and PS4, was it Pro? You're gonna get 60 frames at 1080p. I believe is what I read.
Why?
I don't think
Why
you're going
are
to
you
get
running?
60. Are you?
I thought that's what I read.
Oh, Aaron's having a rough go. You know
I
what
don't
that
know.
means, guys?
I think the controller
It means
just,
that's the end of the podcast.
it just desynced for some reason.
I think it's going to be 4K at 30 on those. You're going to be able to run it at 4K. Or, it's going to at least uprise to 4K.
I doubt 60 is an option. That trailer was
Am I
not
going to
uploaded
be
at
able to
60.
play it on my regular PlayStation? 4?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can play it fine at 30 FPS at 1080p.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be available on regular PS4.
I just don't want to fucking upgrade if I don't have to yet.
If it's actually running at 1080p at 60 FPS, that's amazing.
It's not.
It's 4K on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
If it could
but
run
it
at
doesn't actually
60,
say-
that trailer would have been at 60, and it
Yes.
wasn't.
But
I
it doesn't actually say that it's at 60. It's my mistake. I thought I read 60 somewhere. But it is going to be at 4K.
So
Yeah.
what is this currently running at?
This
Aaron's
game?
running at this at 1080p.
At
1080 at 60.
60 frames. What difference does it make?
30
Faster
frames.
FPS?
Yeah.
Faster
That's
FPS.
just smoother. It just,
Just
you know,
smoother.
But
just visually
we,
more fluid, you know?
so getting back to the topic, because it's really hot in here, and I want to fucking end this podcast. The gameplay. So it showed that not only did it show some of the base kind of the group management stuff. Apparently, there's going to be some pretty serious story-based elements, as you would expect, or story-based sections, as you would expect from a Rockstar game. I'm not sure what they're going to be about. Probably about the survival of your gang. And there also looks to be a lot of combat. Looks like they said they've upped the combat. One of the biggest problems I have with Grand Theft Auto 5 is a lot of the times the combat is clunky because it's all animation based. So to move your character around, feels it's less that you're moving and more that you're making the suggestion of your character to move in that direction.
Yeah.
And it can get a bit jarring because generally, like you get to that point, and it's just it just doesn't work as well as it could.
That's an issue with console.
Take for example though, you're running trying to catch up to a guy to axe him in the head.
Yep.
And you're like 10 feet away from him. If you hit the button at the right time, it'll speed your character up to do the fucking action.
Yeah.
And it looks so awkward.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of plays to what Adam was saying. Like, it just looks...
Sync
It's
again.
like... turbocharged fucking axe to the head, you know? Like,
But it will also. They said they've improved the gameplay. They didn't go into specifics about what that is, but the melee fighting looks to be a bit more involved, at least,
Yeah.
and the gunfighting
like
looks to
hockey
be,
fights.
Yeah, or at least.
To not get too far from GTA and its comparison, I've played a lot of GTA on PC and on console, and I find that on console, I guess it's the frame rate maybe because GTA on PlayStation runs at maybe 20 frames a second. Most of the time, if you're in a full lobby, you're lucky to get 10 or 15 out of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the issues with motion, it all has to do with the frame rate. Like on a 60 FPS PC, you don't notice that because you can make the inputs that much faster, and there's less latency in the game registering your input and then it being displayed in the game. There's definitely a shorter disconnect, and I think maybe that's part of the issue. Hopefully they can maybe resolve that by shortening animations on console for Red Dead or something like that. But it is definitely more noticeable on console than it is on PC.
Yeah.
I hope I hope it's good, and I'd like to see. I'd like to see a re-release of the first one on this generation as well.
The only other thing I wanted to mention is there's like a quick fire mode where you can go into like a Deadeye, where you can go into like a you can almost like slow down time, move your cursor and paint enemies, and then when you come out
also
of it,
for the first time in the series.
Definitely not returning.
No, it's definitely not returning. But they said they made improvements to that as well, as what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, they said you could fan your revolver, so
yeah.
I don't know if that has to do with the Deadeye specifically, or if you can do that whenever you want.
Yeah, so I think intimidation and like cool moves like that are a big thing now.
Yeah.
So you just fire into the air to scare witnesses.
Oh, cool.
I like.
That doesn't happen in other games.
No.
I like that it's not like it's combat or it's not combat, and those are the only two resolves like it previously was. Now it's like in that gameplay trailer they show Arthur like kind of joking with the guy. There's this guy like has a hostage or something. I can't remember exactly. And the dude's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill her," and the dude's like, "Well, whatever, I don't care." And then you can kind of like defuse situations that way by by like expressively not showing interest. It's cool.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like that.
So you can, I think it's gonna open up a lot of, I guess, roleplay opportunities as Arthur, which is cool, which is good. The first one let you do that a lot with John as well, but it just looks like there's even more options now.
I feel like there's a bit more of a karma scale too, like kind of similar to like the first Infamous. Like
Maybe.
you can kind of not that extent, but like. But it seemed like from that gameplay trailer, it's like the decisions that you make regarding your gang, whether or not you want to be a gang member or not, that determines like your interactions with people, and I like that concept because, like you said, like if you don't want to be a fucking outlaw,
that gameplay trailer definitely made it seem more like it was people who just didn't want to be part of society, and less a bunch of people who are specifically criminals.
Totally just the Oregon trailer.
So I guess they let you shape that a little bit, whether you're just like nomads or you're like,
I guess if you just
outlaws.
recruit outlaws, then I guess. Yeah.
I like the idea of like trying to found your own community that's like not beholden to anybody, and then like eventually
like
over
Assassin's
the course
Creed 3.
Yeah, except better.
Except not spending 12 hours looking for Charles Lee.
Where's Charles Lee?
That game is great.
Jason!
No, it's not.
Jason!
Great.
I will fight you. That game is
Jason!
It's not terrible. It's
3?
great. It's not perfect.
3's in America, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that
not
game.
a bad game. Connor just sucks.
That game.
I like Connor.
Connor was okay.
Very boring.
Connor had a terrible fucking name.
Connor?
Yeah, the only time you can be called Connor is Connor, you know? Don't ever call a kid Connor.
I think on that we can end.
That's it.
All right.
Join us next time for more gaming and movie news. We didn't talk about any movies.
No. Well, I mean, there was nothing really to talk about, really. We talked
I seen Mamma Mia 2 after.
Oh, God. How's that?
Roy did too, and he hasn't talked
Cher
about it.
loves ABBA so much she's going to do an album of all of their music.
Cher?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
She was hilarious in that movie
She's
because
not
she
dead?
can hardly walk. She had to walk downstairs, and it took 25 minutes. And they let her do it without editing.
Did she have to wheel her dialysis machine?
Basically, yeah.
That was on a little elevator going down with her.
She looks good for 72 years old, though.
She's 72.
She's 72
She's
years
mostly
old.
plastic, Jordan.
Well, she is mostly plastic, but like they did not do anything for her fucking hips. It took
It's like
forever.
a mid-condition action figure.
And the thing was, like, she was trying to like hook up with this guy who's clearly in his early 50s.
Yeah.
And like it was just like this weird, awkward like she was in love with him, and he was like,
Hey, baby,
yeah,
you in the mood for some dry, bony
Are
sex?
you in the mood for some geriatrics? Like, you know, like, it's fucked up.
Ever have cheesy lube?
Oh,
Anyway,
my God,
that is how you end a podcast, everybody.
We'll see you next
Cheesy vagina!